Well, the Congress MP Randeep Singh Surjewala has given a suspension of business notice under Rule 267 in the Rajya Sabha to discuss the border situation with China, also asking the chairman to ask the Prime Minister and the government to make a statement on the issue. Earlier, the Congress MP Manish Tiwari had given an adjournment motion notice in the Lok Sabha to discuss the border situation with China. Do remember that the opposition has been cornering the government over this issue in both houses of parliament. Yesterday also we saw several disruptions with the opposition essentially asking for a debate on what happened in Tawang in the 9th of December, where there was contact between the two sides, that is the PLA troops as well as the Indian soldiers at peak over there. Let's go across to Piyush Ori, who's reporting on this. He joins us live from New Delhi right now. Piyush, good morning. Piyush, the opposition, of course, extremely keen that the government allow for a discussion to take place on this issue in both houses of parliament. We're now getting to understand that another Congress leader has issued an adjournment motion.
So good morning, Nupur, and to you, good morning to all our viewers who are watching us at the moment. And you rightly said that, yes, the Congress leaders are trying to make sure that this attack by China on us and the way we defended our territory is being politicized. After Manish Tiwari, now it is the time for Randeep Singh Surjewala to ask the government to make a statement on this. In fact, Randeep Singh Surjewala has also asked the Prime Minister to make a statement on this provocation by China on 9th of December, which was defended very well by the Indian Army. Now, what it is doing in return is Congress is that it does not realize that how sensitive and national security issue this actual matter is. It is important to note that following the news, the statement have already been made by the Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh in both houses of the parliament, but the Congress leaders are making sure that this gets more mileage, this gets more coverage, and they are forcing the government to have a debate on this. They are forcing the government to make more statements on this. In fact, Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, has also stated that the government is not divulging many details to its leaders about this provocation by China. So it is now going to be important to see that how this politicization of the entire events is going to unfold in the coming days. Back to you in the studio. All
right, Piyush, do stay with us. Let's also go across to Gursimran, who's reporting from Tawang right now. Gursimran, good morning. Gursimran, of course, two things. One, we are given to understand that the Air Force's exercise is still continuing. It is day 2 of that exercise in the Eastern Theatre. So begin by giving us an overview about that. And also across the LAC, we understand that our troops are still on alert.
Yes, the troops on the ground are on the alert. Right now we are in the Tawang sector, and I'll request Vijay Parvez to zoom into the heights that the Indian side is occupying. See, these are one of those heights that the Indian side is occupying against the Chinese side, and that is somewhat has rattled the Chinese side, because what the China feels that if they would have access to these heights, they will have a clear overview of the Arunachal Pradesh, and half of Arunachal Pradesh overview can be looked from these heights that the Indian side is occupying. And China, with his nefarious policy, the expansionist policy, they were always in a bid to grab the land of the other country. But in case of India, they have totally failed. Now the statement has to come from the Eastern Army Commander, Lieutenant General Rana Pratap Kalita, in which he has made it amply clear, no questions beyond this, that there is no acquisition of the Indian land by the Chinese side in the Arunachal Pradesh. So this is coming from the senior most officer who is looking into the army operations in the Arunachal Pradesh and the eastern sector of the Indian Army, the Eastern Command of the Indian Army. So this is really very crucial, this statement that has come forth. Though the political parties are trying to politicize the issue, but the reality remains that India has given Chinese side a tough payback when the Chinese came into the Indian side with an attempt to occupy the Yankee heights, the Yankee post of the Indian Army at the height of 17,000 feet, because having occupied the Yankee, the Chinese side feels that they will have advantage over the India, and that is very true because the Yankee height that the India has been occupied, there have been almost a dozen attempts by the Chinese side in past 1 decade, where the Chinese were always in a bid to occupy that height because that is at the 17,000 feet, and that gives India a clear-cut vision that how the China is moving and how the strategy of the China is taking place. Any advancement of the Chinese side can be noticed from those heights. So this is strategically very important, and China wants to take that strategic depth, but they have been left with no option then to retreat from that place when the Indian side give them a befitting reply.
Absolutely, Gursimran. So as you're pointing out, this is the Yangtze Heights give either side a bird's eye view of what's happening in the other country.